Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Simply Trade Roundup. My name's Annik. I will be your host today, as I am every single week for your Monday Roundup. Today, we have a special episode with ICPA, which we have ICPA's very own Elisabeth Sherrell, Executive Director now. Wow, the first time I get to say this. Elisabeth, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And then we have Kelsey Moraski and we have Alicia Bryant, who are board members at ICPA. And I don't want to diminish what they do because I know they have great jobs, but I want to let them speak for themselves because this is the first time I'm meeting them as well, which I am glad to introduce you to them because you will see more of them if you're attending ICPA or if you're thinking about attending, because this episode might just bring you across the pond to get you to the conference. All right, so let's start real quick to introduce our new board members. Mm-hmm. By the way, ICPA has a whole new board. You can definitely check that out. But let's start with Alicia since we're going alphabetical order now.
Good morning.
Morning.
So I am Alicia Bryant. I work for Edgewell Personal Care. I am located in our office in St. Louis, Missouri. I have been in the trade compliance space for about 12 years or so. I have been attending ICPA conferences for at least 10 of those years. It is a great opportunity to meet like-minded people in the trade compliance space. My interactions with individuals at the trade compliance meetings prompted me to get my broker's license, which I didn't think it was something that I wanted to do, but just coming into contact with people and getting that encouragement that was something that I could do, I pursued it and I was able to get my license. I continue to come to the conferences and support. I am responsible for basically the broker auditing for my company. So I work with our customs brokers, and then I also am responsible for free trade agreements and work with our brokers to do classification. So a number of things within the organization. And so I joined the board because I just wanted to learn from other people at a higher level and just to expand my expertise outside of my organization to see what other companies are doing and what I can learn and how I can contribute on a bigger scale.
Thank you. I love that you said learn from the board when you're on the board. You know, you're sharing so much too, and other people will learn from you. But you are there to learn too, and that's so important.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Absolutely.
I love it. All right. Thank you so much, Kelsey.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. So I'm Kelsey Moraski. I work in global trade and supply chain, primarily on trade compliance and risk management. My role is very much at the intersection of policy and operations. So trying to bridge that gap from regulations to what's actually practical in the real world and in business. I've spent most of my career working in global manufacturing environments. So that means I'm really comfortable working in a lot of ambiguity, a lot of gray areas. And there's a lot of responsibility that's given to trade compliance professionals in those roles to get things right. And that's really what draws me to ICPA and why I've stayed involved for as long as I have, is it's one of the few communities where I feel like the community understands that risk and understands that reality. So I joined the board because I believe in the mission. I like the people and I want to keep moving it forward.
Such a great way of joining ICPA.
Oh my gosh, they sound so great. It's going to be a little different. Annik and I are a little more unhinged, I think, than that. They were very professional. I'm going to work on that. But I love that.
You know what? Actually, don't. That makes you. That's totally
okay.
fine.
All right. Okay. But I'm so thankful. And both of them jumped right in. And I just have to say, we did get, this is the first year we actually, we had almost 600 votes for the board. We had, I think 11 or 12 people that were, that offered to step up and help. And I'm going to try not to get emotional because, eyeliner is really difficult for me. And I put some on today, but, in a season of extreme transition for me personally and professionally, because I can't untie myself from this brand that my mother helped build, to see the support was just, it's really important. And both of these ladies have also reached out separately and asked how they can help. I mean, I've never had anybody do that. I set up a meeting with Alicia, and Kelsey is going to do our keynote closer for the annual conference with fire if the hotel allows it. So, I mean, it's not to be missed. Not to be missed. It's really exciting, and so it's just I mean, for me personally, this is a season where I know I can do this, but I'm also terrified. I mean, just that's all. You're always going to hear the real from me. It's a big role to step into, and so I'm just very thankful. I'm thankful for these ladies for and the other board members, of course, for taking a chance and just running for the board. I mean, and then offering to help so quickly, both of them, and even other board members that weren't able to make it today. It's an exciting time, Annik.
Yeah, I know, and thank you for saying that as well. I know I can't imagine how much you're doing right now, and the fact that you still mentioned your eyeliner is
Listen, this is
was
a
very
struggle.
great. It shows the kind of person you are, and all this what you just mentioned with Alicia and Kelsey just kind of showcases how the culture of the conference, because it is about community and helping others, not just, I mean, at this point it gets personal, right, for you, but as well as professionally. And in some professions you don't feel like you get the help from others, or you feel alone. And I think in this industry, especially with ICPA, you get all of that. You get people who help you, who understands you personally and professionally. I have to say there's wow, I don't even there's I reached out to this woman. I've met her at ACPA, and I saw that her daughter got into a car accident. I don't know if you've seen this, and she's it was really bad. She's in a coma, and now she's. I mean, I don't think she has woken up. Anyways, I read the story every day, and I keep up with her, and I think, and I write to her and whatever. But I think it's like the sense that you see also the many people that want to help her. And I think you find those kind of people at ICPA. I know some people don't need more friends, but professionally we all do, really. We especially around this time. And so I'm glad that you guys are coming on, and we can talk about this and highlight how important this is in this industry. And I want to get into wow, this was a heavy note. But on a lighter note, I want to get into this upcoming conference, because I know things are changing. You're now an executive director. You have a new board. You have new ideas, new challenges. And I want to discuss a little bit more about San Antonio and what's upcoming. What are we looking for? What can people expect? What's different? What do you think is going to be like the highlight, or what are you looking forward to? And just kind of why people should be attending, and maybe we can reflect and see, what happened in the past, or what was going on in the past, and how we can, continue this moving forward. So first, I know there's a lot of questions. So I want to begin with Alicia, because you said that you've been to conferences for 10 years. Obviously now we have San Antonio upcoming. What is your what do you look forward to the most when you go to conferences, except for the community? I feel like that is a given already.
Look for the content. The content is amazing. They have experts in their fields. They have individuals who are in those specific areas of compliance. So I don't remember his name, but there's the lawyer that's for Canada. So he can speak to the specific customs issues that are plaguing Canada with CARM that you wouldn't know if you weren't dealing with that part of the region. And then I also attended segments that were done by Cordova, I forgot her first name.
Brenda Cordova,
thank you. And her and that gentleman, they did an amazing job of explaining what is going on, not just contextually, but on boots on the ground, what's going on in that region when it comes to customs compliance and what the government is doing, and how, importers need to adjust, what they're doing. I personally have never been to San Antonio. So I was telling Elisabeth that I always attend the fall conference in Grapevine. So that's the only conference that I've had the opportunity to attend. So this year I will be attending San Antonio for the first time. So I'm very excited about that. And so I can't speak to the differences at this point, but I am very interested in seeing that particular conference as opposed to the conference that I typically attend.
I love that. We're going to have a fiesta. I love that you chose
Yes,
that. We'll get
yes.
into that. We'll get into that.
Okay,
Sorry, I don't
okay.
want to foreshadow, but I'm so excited. This is so fun. I mean, I live in the region of Texas, so I'm very much aware of the fiesta style, but oh my God, a conference, like this is going to be great. Anyways, I love that. And yes, the content's always great. And also love that you brought up Canada, because there's a lot going on with Canada. It's like in the news right now because they seem to have some ties with China, or they seem to be doing something with China, and we know America is not in favor of China due to the president. So we will that is going to be so interesting upcoming for the conference and what will be said. So I'm looking forward to actually more Canada content as well. How about you, Kelsey? So you've been to the ICP conference many times as well. What kind of connections do you build at this conference, or what have you learned in the past, and what are you looking forward to San Antonio?
Yeah. So part of ICPA's mission includes problem solving. And I know you said don't focus on community because that's a given, but I think that's one of the most valuable pieces that the community has to offer. And you get that virtually to an extent. You get that through the Q&A forum online, which is extremely valuable. But it's even more valuable when you show up in person and you sit down to a breakfast table and you have these real individuals sitting down, not just, spewing regulations at each other or trying to show off their knowledge, but they're sitting down and they're coming to the table with real problems. And everyone comes together and discusses how to solve those problems. And to me, that's the biggest value of going to an ICPA conference, is that you get to have real discussions with real people in similar roles who you might not get to have those discussions with otherwise. And it's maybe a bit of a tangent, but I watched something this weekend that made me really thoughtful about this. I don't know if any of you watched Alex Honnold climb a building in Taiwan this weekend. Did
Yes,
anyone
I
see that?
watched with anxiety. I had to watch afterwards because I couldn't watch while it was going on. I was not ready to see someone fall off.
Yeah. So
Is this
for
the
those who don't know,
skyscraper? The
yeah,
skyscraper?
Yes, it was in
yeah,
Thai, what is it called?
I forget the
tower?
building's name, but it was in Taiwan.
Taiwan, and
And
the building's name was like something I don't know. Yes, I remember.
yeah. So
Netflix.
it's for anyone who's listening and doesn't know, Alex Honnold is a rock climber and he specializes in free soloing. And a free solo is when you climb typically rocks without rope and without a safety net. And he went on television and his goal was to climb this skyscraper in Taiwan without any safety basically behind him. And what really struck me when I was watching it was that the commentators mostly were not rock climbers. So it really showed in the broadcast, right? They would celebrate at the wrong moments. They would talk over the technical moments. And it just felt a bit off. And then one of the commentators who was a rock climber made a really smart statement as they kept talking about the risk. And she said, actually, the only one who understands the risk in the situation is Alex, because he's the one who's consistently put in the training. And I thought to myself, oh, that's trade compliance, right? How often do big companies know they have this big risk, this big challenge, and they put one small group or one individual on that challenge with very little support or very little shared technical understanding? And that to me is the value of ICPA, is it gives those individuals who are up against a big challenge a place where they can come together and problem solve how they're going to approach it. And everyone speaks the same language. So a bit of a tangent, you can cut it if it doesn't make sense.
It was such a good one because it really
that was a beautiful analogy.
It was so like that. I love that, Kelsey, because I'm an analogy person. I have to draw pictures in my brain for everything, and it helps me to understand and encourage you to hear you say it and how you see the value, because I've been here from the beginning reluctantly. Like I was 16 years old when Linda and my mom were like, "We're going to start an organization." I'm like, "Okay." And I watched it blossom and grow. And these two crazy women, like they are so crazy. You can look at the pictures and just tell they were fun and crazy, but they knew what they were doing. And they were at another conference and they came together outside and said, yeah, but there's really nothing for us. Because let's face it, guys, even in the drop down of occupations, trade compliance professional isn't there. It's not a thing, just like event planning is, which is so annoying because I have a degree in it. And I'm like, well, I paid money for this to be a real career, and it's not a drop down yet. And that's my goal. Like my long-term goal, my strategic executive director 20-year plan is that by the end of my career, I'm standing in a 5th grade classroom next to a fireman and a nurse on career day. And I'm telling kids about trade compliance. And that gives me goosebumps because it's such a big, hairy, audacious dream, right? But for those that you don't know, my mom was huge into Disney, especially Walt, and I am as well. And if you ever know anything about the history of Disney, I think they went broke 5 or 6 times. I mean, Walt Disney he was never going to sacrifice that vision that he had, and I think for me, that's just so great to hear you say that, Kelsey, and to know you're on the board, because we can just go achieve all these things together, taking that message to this new next generation of trade compliance professionals. Because let's face it, people are retiring every single day. It feels like more of them that built this organization. And so the 20 and 30-year-olds that just fell into this, because that's how y'all all got here, nobody was really picking this career path, right? And so we need to help them and adopt them and bring them into our family. So thank you for that, Kelsey. Very, very well put.
Yeah, I loved it. You said taking it out. I'm like, I'm going to clip it. What do you mean taking it out? That's crazy of you. No, I truly believe that you guys described ICPA to what it is and what you got out of it to a T. Haven't been to as many as you guys have, but I've been to 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, 5, maybe 4 or 5. I don't know. Anyways, I go to most of them that I can, and I've not been in this industry for long, but I love connecting to people. And I'm not a trade expert myself. I want to say I'm a journalist in this area that I relay information that people provide me with or that I get out of them. But I do have a lot of people reaching out to me, which is so funny through this podcast. And then I send them forward to ICPA, or I send them to people that know what they're doing and not me. But me as someone who does not, I care, I do, I'm sorry, but I don't do the work that you guys are doing. Like my mind is not blowing out of my head just because of what I see in the news, because I don't have to do it, but I understand the depth of what people go through, because I talk to them and I see firsthand at these conferences how the conversations are going, what kind of struggles they have, and to see how people, ask questions, especially young people now. They can come in there and they don't know anything, and they'll go to someone that is currently like one of you guys who's currently struggling with their job because they have so much to do and so many things coming at them because the industry is changing so dynamically, and they're still answering and giving them advice and helping them achieve to become one of them soon. And it's incredible to see that, because we fall into this industry, except Amy Morgan. She doesn't fall in this industry. She made a comment recently because I talked to some young individuals and they said, like, we just fell into this industry because we saw a need, but like everyone just kind of falls into this industry. And she made a comment and said, yeah, everyone, but some people don't. So I have to make a note now that Amy Morgan does not. She intentionally did this. And I am glad that ICPA provides that kind of opportunity. I've touched on this again, but Elisabeth, can you please share how much you value having young starters at this conference? You're on mute now.
It's just like, oh gosh, Jake Boggs. Okay, so I had a college kid reach out to me on LinkedIn, and he reached out to a bunch of people, and he was specifically interested in ITAR EAR, which is a big passion of mine, because I always joke about, there's not a lot I know about the ins and outs of everyday trade, but being around this, really intimate with the industry, with this business for 10 years and the industry at large for over 20, like I grew up around these people. The one thing I do know is there's no like what kills me is, and now there is CEUs for LCBs, so I get it. But it's like when I found out about ITIRE and EAR, I'm like, wait a minute. So you're telling me that my daughter's teacher has to go to so many training hours, per year to be a teacher, but these people that are shipping, guns and weapons of war in and out of the country don't really have that kind of regulation. Like, this seems so messed up to me, right?
Crazy.
And so it was a weird realization. So Jake reached out. He was passionate about this because he was volunteering in a third world country and saw how war affected these people, right? These refugees and things, and wanted to dig deeper into how this happens. Well, and this is very broad strokes. You'd have to talk to him because he's real passionate about it. But the gist of it was, it all led back to how weapons get into other countries, and probably because of loose supply chains. It's what I'm guessing is where it was headed. Oh my gosh. So I'm like, we got to bring this kid to the fall conference. Then that just expanded, and we ended up offering 4 full scholarships to the fall conference for college age kids. And they had a blast. Jake had 3 or 4 job offers by the end of the week. Unbelievable. Now he's a networker. He's somebody to get out there and talk to people, but I am so passionate about this because I think about the people that I love from this industry, the Blaine Carrolls and the Lila Landises and the Bonnie Kirsches and the Brenda Cordovas and the Benita. I think about how these are just really cool, fun people to hang out with. They love their jobs. They've made great careers, and they get all geeked out about trade compliance. Chris Scalisi, oh my gosh, trade nerd 101. But it's exciting to know, we don't have event planner stuff for that. Like, we're the most boring people in the world because we go to an event for event planners and we're all exhausted from the events we've been planning all year. We're like, we don't even want to go to the networking stuff. We don't want to meet somebody new. We just want to learn the new trick and tip, and we go back to our hotel rooms. It's not like this. It's not fun like this. And so I just feel like that younger group just needs to know what they could get into. I can't even think of a time when I've met a trade compliance person that's been at one of our events that I thought, oh, that's like watching paint dry. They're all just really fun, exciting, vibrant people. And maybe that's just at our events. I don't know. Maybe I'm lucky, but I love how they care for each other. I love how they're most of them are very passionate. And so I just want to introduce the next generation to it. It's important to me, like I said, both professionally and personally, because I believe what my mom and Linda helped build made a difference in this industry, and I want to see that go forward even when I'm gone. So
yeah. And a quick question: San Antonio coming up March. Ooh, I know you have
the 4th.
1st through the 4th. Yes. Lovely. I'm so excited. Riverwalk. Beautiful. I mean, wow.
Yes.
We're going to be in Texas, and it's going to be amazing. But what is so special about this one? Do you have anything planned that you're like over the moon about, that you're like, oh my God, the people are going to go crazy?
I mean, the people that have been around will, again, and we're going to be respectful of my eyeliner, but we will do a memorial for my mom at this event, and we'll have a moment. But what is that I'm most excited about for that is it's sad, it's hard, but it's also really fun when you think about the joy that they brought to these events. And Linda's going to be there, Linda Thomas, and she's going to say a little bit. And at the end of that, if you've been around ICPA, my mom had started the Voices of Compliance, which is our choir. And she liked to rewrite songs. One year they rewrote YMCA to be ICPA. We even had people dress up as the cowboy and your very own, I believe you'd have to ask him, but your very own Andy Shows, I believe, dressed up as one of those. And I know Clay Perry, who's not really in the industry anymore, did. And of course, our Dana Alvarez, who and they danced around, and it was just great. Well, this year they rewrote, and my mom started it before she passed, and Jamie Adams is going to finish it. But they rewrote the tune "Deep in the Heart of Texas." And for Texans, we can't hear that song without clapping in the appropriate parts, where it's like something we're taught in 3rd grade, And so it's kind of exciting. It's going to be about the tariffs, and it'll be a great way to kick off the event at the beginning and after we do a quick memorial. And just, honor our roots and look to the future with that same vision that those ladies had. So I'm excited about that most of all.
Yeah. And one last question to board members. And thank you so much. And that's great that you mentioned the memorial, because I actually had no idea about that. So That's good to know. And we will be there. So Alicia and Kelsey, what are you guys looking forward to in the sense of your job? Like, what are you looking for? What kind of information out of the conference? Because I know there's so much going on. I mean, USMCA is changing. I don't know if you guys deal with that. There's obviously Canada stuff. You mentioned FTAs. Is that something that you're looking for, or what is something that you're looking forward to?
So, like I said, first and foremost, I'm looking forward to attending a different conference than what I'm accustomed to, just to see, what the distinctions are and to see, the different, I guess, environment, if there is a different environment. But Elizabeth talked about the inception of ICPA, and I know from the 10, 12 years that I've been in trade compliance, I hear people who have been in the industry for 25, 30 years saying these are the most exciting, interesting times in their career to be in trade compliance. And so
Great.
I'm excited to be in trade compliance at this particular moment, despite the challenges. It seems like a great time to be in the space because of everything that's going on. And being the person who can help explain it and walk your organization through the turmoil and the chaos. And not that we have all the answers, but we can speak to the challenges in a way that, I guess, prepares us and allows us to move forward through the chaos and not just throw our hands up and feel helpless. So I'm looking again to learn more, to get connected with individuals, and I'm really, really excited about learning about the technology that I expect to enter, the trade compliance space. I was on a call that Lila had, I think yesterday or the day before. My days are running together. But and they just talked about how people are bringing on, AI and systems to handle tasks, but it's not really the task that you should be looking at. It should be your overall process, garbage in, garbage out, and you can't, you just get to the wrong answer faster by just, slapping technology on top of your current processes. So I'm just interested to see how other companies are rolling out that type of rolling out the technology, what the recommendations are, and just see where the industry as a whole is headed.
I love that. Technology is a big one, I have to say. What about you, Kelsey? Any topics that are interesting to you that you can think of right now?
Yeah, I mean, being in a global role that encompasses compliance means everything you mentioned is relevant to me and interesting to me, right? But I think most importantly, I'm looking forward to having just diversity of opinions in the room.
Yeah.
That's what's really valuable to me is understanding how different companies are navigating volatility, how they're interpreting risk right now, and how they're operating in these gray areas and uncertain times, right? I think having those discussions with people of varying viewpoints, people who aren't just repeating a news article or the key words that they hear out there in the media, people who understand it and who have their own opinions is really valuable. And having those discussions is what helps you build judgment, not just knowledge.
Yeah, I love that. And I'm sure Elisabeth is looking forward to everything happening at the conference, every session, every problem, every person.
Oh, every problem. Yeah. Yes, I am looking forward to it. It is a great time. I think you're going to like it, Alicia. It's very different. It can be very overwhelming, especially if only you've come to the fall. There's a lot going on, a lot of moving parts, but it's exciting. So yeah, always looking forward to it.
Yeah. So the 2026 annual conference of ICPA Compliance Corazón con Corazón, which is compliance with a heart, right? Fiesta of Global Trade will be held March 1st to the 4th in San Antonio Grand Hyatt San Antonio Hotel. If you have any questions about it, they have a webpage where you can find all the information, the agenda, the people that are there, sponsorships, whatever you need. Are you guys, is it already a closed registration?
No, it's still open. After COVID, we found out that, and maybe just with the shifting tides, there's so many trade compliance professionals that register within the last 45 days that we kind of extended our windows and our numbers to meet that. But we had 39 people register yesterday. So it is getting close. I mean, I was a little nervous, but yeah, we're getting close to sold out because it's a little smaller hotel. So yeah, don't delay. You don't want to come virtually. Nobody wants to do that. We have to, right? So
yeah. But it is an option for people that cannot make it and don't have the time or whatever. Virtual is always, I mean, ICPA is staying up to the times, creating, technology for you that people can use if they can't make it, which is great. Now, we didn't get to the ICPA Europe conference because I feel like I need to make a separate one about that, and I will highlight that in the beginning of the episode. So you should have already heard about that, which is in Dresden, Germany.
Ooh, look, she's German. That's great. That's great.
Yeah, when I saw it, I'm like, really? Because I love my Europe. But okay, well, this was great, and I hope it helped some people gain more information about the conference. And if you have been to the conference, you also got new information because you have not met these board members yet, probably. And Elisabeth always has things to share that no one has heard of before. So it's great.
It's because we came up with it yesterday. Like everything is so fast. We find it's a lot.
Everything is new. But I want to thank the listeners for listening, of course. And if you have any questions, again, you can reach out to me. You can reach out to Elisabeth and also to the board members because I'm sure they'll be helpful to let you know whatever you need. And I will see you back next Monday for our next roundup. To my great people that came on to the podcast to share all this information with you, thank you so much. I appreciate all your help and the discussion, and hope to see you at the well, I will definitely see you at the conference. So excited for that, for an in-person meet, and thank you. So Have a great day.
Thank you.